Okay, so this is going to be lesson 2 for 7th grade about the engineering design process. So they talk about the heart pacemaker and explaining the different houses and plastic building villages and how they actually use these plastic bottles. They help to insulate. So it's a great idea for reusing. We talk a lot about recycling, but this is how you can reuse a plastic bottle. What problems do you think the plastic bottles here that are embedded, what is that trying to solve? So the plastic bottles are helping to make a house. The house can get very cold or hot to match the outside weather. The plastic from the bottles actually can make the house stay cooler than outside or warmer than outside, depending on what the person wants. So it is solving a problem of giving people houses and also solving the problem of keeping people warm in winter and cool in summer. See, it's solving multiple problems with just some plastic bottles. All right. The plastic bottle village is built on an island off the coast of Panama. Do you think the solution could be used in other locations? So, it can be used wherever there is access to plastic bottles and other materials. So as long as you have the ability to get plastic bottles, you can create this, right? The advantage of old plastic bottles to build a house is it's an easy resource to find and it doesn't cost very much money, right? Because people have already used the plastic bottles, they're being reused. So that's a great advantage. Are there disadvantages? There are disadvantages, right? For every advantage, there's going to be a disadvantage because the material is not the same as something else that might work better, but be way more expensive. So yes, you could take clay and you can do insulation and many different things and put that and have that create your house and it'll make your house like a very strong house. It might not be the strongest house. So it's cheaper and more available, right? So it's not necessarily the strongest house, but it's very easy and cheap to build. Exploration 1, we're going to move into exploration 1 from our opener. So we have to think about creating solutions. So now they talk about cell phone cases and roller coasters and how they are both solutions to a problem. So how do chimps solve a problem of getting food? You can see them using sticks to collect the ants and eating them very quickly. Nice. So you can see they just are using tools and using sticks as tools to be able to eat. Okay. They have to use natural material. What is the design problem faced by the chimp? The chimp can use tools and natural materials to eat ants and other food. The design problem is that they can't make the sticks in a way that gets a lot of ants at the same time. They have to use whatever they find in nature. They can't sand it or cut it or mix it. Technically they can mix it, so they can't sand it or cut it or change it to be more helpful. That's kind of their design problem. You find a stick, you use the stick. You're not going to be able to mold the stick or like woodwork and create, if you're a chimp, to make it so you can get more ants, right? So every solution starts with a problem. We know that. Chimpanzees, they wanted the ants. The ants were stuck in the hole. They found the stick. So engineering is kind of like that. You identify the problem, you research it, you figure out what's the criteria, what's the constraints, like what materials do I need, what do I have to work with, can I define the problem, can I brainstorm, check and model the solutions, does it actually help? If it doesn't, you start over again, but if it does, you consider it the trade-offs. Is it worth it? Is it too expensive? Can you implement it? And then you keep working until you can implement it. So solutions, they're talking about people taking insulin or cell phones with cameras, what kind of solutions we have created to define different problems in society. So criteria is what should the solution do? What do we want the outcome to be? And a constraint is usually time and money. So do we have enough time to do this? Do we have enough money to make this work? Is it going to work with gravity? Things like that. So we got two men riding a bicycle. The bike helmet is all about, like, the earliest helmet was made out of leather and strips. So you can see these helmets. And it was saying that people were more likely to use them if they were more lightweight. And these were heavier helmets. You can see people like are scrunched over, and they brought the handlebars up later too, but they also changed helmets from being leather to actually being more lightweight and easier to wear. That was an engineering solution to a problem. Okay, so now they're just talking about different types of problems and the needs, what needs are addressed by using old plastic bottles. So remember, we talked about that's helping an entire society on that island, and it's helping the entire society because it's giving houses and insulation so that they can survive there and not have to spend a lot of money. Now, going back to bicycle helmets, people used to not cover their head, and then they realized the problem was there were so many head injuries when people were riding bikes. So the solution was to find different things that would protect the head. So they talked about the leather, and then how that was heavy and that was not helping as much. So they had to improve it, and now you're looking at a helmet that people mostly use. So they make it shiny and flat for a reason, because they don't want the friction, and they want to still cause have it be lightweight so that it's not going to cause a neck injury. And then they have padding, so it protects your brain. And this shell is also absorbing impact. So you can see that it has that shiny outside, but inside it has all the padding, so that if you come into contact with asphalt or cement, it's rubbing against the shell and not your head. And you have to make sure that it fits so that it can protect your head and doesn't just fly off and then not help your head, right? So we have to always think about what is the time limit we have and how much is it going to cost and what materials do we need. Okay, now we have a new kind of helmet.
monitor the cyclist's movements and will inflate their The collar is made of several different components. It contains ferric and electronic parts. The monitor and the helmet are stored within a fabric collar that is worn around the neck like a scarf. The collar is secured in place with a zip and buttons. A collar cover allows the wearer to change its color. The airbag helmet can be deployed only once and needs to be replaced after it inflates.
All right, so there's the helmet that they created. It takes 1.5 meters of length of the 137 to make the collar. Okay, so they have to take this small amount of meters from centimeters. The manufacturer is making 250, so how much do they need? So they're telling you you're going to have to take 250 and times it by 1.5. Find your favorite calculator and do 250 times 1.5 equals 375. So let's check ourselves. 375 meters of fabric will be needed. Technician finds they only have 65% of what they need. So they're walking you through the math, right? There's 375, but if you only have 65%, you change that percent to a decimal. So see how they have 0.65 times 375. So you know that you have this, right? This is how much material they've got, but that's only 65%. So to find out what's left over, they're going to have to subtract the 375 from the 243.75. 375 minus 243.75. So in subtracting that, we got 131.25. Also known as 131 and 25 hundredths of meters that we need. Now we can develop and test a solution. They're talking about bike helmets. There were tons of designs. It took them a long time to find the design that was the best, and there were trade-offs. So some people, like the leather was too heavy, so they had to create something because they couldn't do that trade-off. It couldn't be that heavy. It needed to be lightweight. Okay, sporks is definitely like there's, you can have forks on one end, spoon on the other, or just have a spoon and a fork combined. Is making design trade-offs the same as or different from combining the best parts of different solutions? So a trade-off is different from combining the best parts of a solution. It's different because the trade-off is that one part of what you have is positive and one could be the negative. It's not just all positive for a trade-off. For example, the leather or the helmet with the better padding is more protective, which is good, but also more expensive, which is bad. That is the trade-off. Right? One is great, but you have to kind of sacrifice something. You can't just have everything in the best solution possible. So basically they're taking the solution, they're testing it. Iterative testing means they test it and test it and test it and then make it better and test it again and work until they have the best possible trade-offs. Okay, remember for hands-on lab, we're not in the classroom, so we're not doing the labs at the moment. Okay, designing a real-life problem. The requirements and constraints, we're going to do that, and we're going to actually start that on a separate video and then move from there to explore and explain 2.